Good morning, friends. You are most welcome to Think Eyes channel. Today we are going to discuss Practicing Anthropology by MAAN IGNOU, and our topic is participation in the civil societies and the states. Let us begin the topic. What does participation mean? Inevitably, participation is often thought to be limited to rural community. The fact of the matter is that today business houses need participation of the shareholders. State requires citizens to participate and civil societies organizations also need to engage with the community. Participation of the community or common interest groups is an organized strategy to increase the accountability of success and failure. Participation is ultimately concerned with organized efforts to increase control over resources and regulative institutions in a given social situation, especially on the part of groups of those stakeholders who up till then were excluded from such control. Pierce and Stiefel 1979. With regard to development, participation includes people's involvement in decision-making process, in implementing programs, their sharing in the benefits of development programs and their involvement in efforts to evaluate such programs. Cohen and Uphoff 1977. The World Bank defined participation as a process through which stakeholders influence and share control over development initiatives and the decisions and resources which affect them. World Bank 1994. The World Bank defined participation as a process through which stakeholders influence and share control over development initiatives and the decision and the resources which affect them. World Bank 1994. It means that participation is a process of empowerment of the deprived and the excluded. This view is based on the recognition of differences in political, social, and economic power among different social groups and classes. Participation in this sense necessitates the creation of organization of the poor which are democratic, independent, and self-reliant. Ghai 1990. Degree and form of participation. Degree and form of participation. Participation is understood with the degree and form on which stakeholders participate. Ernestine 1969 defines participation as the redistribution of power that enables the have-not citizens presently excluded from the political and economic processes to be deliberately included in the future. According to him, it is the strategy by which stakeholders can induce significant social reform which enables them to share in the benefits of the affluent society. She has tried to explain the degree of participation with an analogy of a ladder. Einstein stresses that the ladder is a simplification and that the 8 rungs are an imperfect representation of what is really a continuum, where a clear distinction between levels is not always possible. The diagram below illustrates the fact that there are different degrees and forms of citizen participation. Levels of participation: first, citizen control, then delegated power, then partnership, then plication, then consultation, then informing, then therapy, then manipulation. Overall, at the last, manipulation. नीचे से ऊपर चलते हैं. Let's begin from bottom to top. Manipulation, therapy, informing, consultation, plication, partnership, delegate power, citizen control. Ladder of participation shows Ernstine 1969. However, according to the few scholars such as Howard et al. 2004, this linear progression from bottoms up may not be the appropriate to understand participation. Pimbert and Pretty 1994 proposed a matrix of participation based on the levels and components of participation. Levels of participation, components and characteristics of participation. Passive participation. People are told what is going to happen or has already happened. Top-down information shared belongs only to external professionals. Participation in information giving. People answer questions posed by researchers or investigative officers using various data collection methods. People are such People are seen as the information bearer and do not necessarily influence decision. Participation by consultation. People participate by being consulted and external agencies listen to their views. External agencies define both problems and solutions. Participation for material resources. Participation for material resources. People participate by providing resources, for example, labor, in return for cash or food. Functional participation. People participate by forming groups to meet predetermined objectives relating to the project, which can involve the development or promotion of externally initiated social organization. Interactive participation. People participate in joint analysis, which leads to joint action plans and formation of new groups or strengthening of old ones. Self mobilization. Already empowered, take decisions independently of external institutions. People participate by taking initiatives independent of external change systems. In both Ornstein's ladder and Pimbert and Praty's model, there are two implied assumptions which classify participation. Stakeholders in a given situation have different degree of access to participate, and the terms on which the stakeholders participate. The difference in degree of access could be due to lack of knowledge, resources, or interest. These are individual factors. Often the organization or institutions are not inclusive. The above two criteria are also applicable in the market economy. The answer lies in the degree of access that are socially, politically, economically, and especially excluded communities have to the markets, and the terms on which they participate in such markets. The above two criteria are elucidated by organized participation of the civil society members. Anthropologists with the skill of promoting participation are best suited in the non-government organizations or civil society organizations. Civil society vary widely according to size and scale of operation, sector of activity and approach, religious orientation, their functions, service providers, social movements, networks, or apex organizations, their relationships to donors, their organizational sophistications, and other factors, types of civil society and forms of accountability. Social movement, national religious groups, social organization, NGOs. The growing role of civil society organization in promoting equitable access to marginalized communities for participating in the three different spheres, namely in the market, state, and communities, will become pivotal in connecting and combining market practices and policies with the strategies of empowerment and entitlements of the state. Thank you very much.